Hi guys, welcome to Watch These Films. I'm your host, Bianca Barnett. Okay, today I'm going to be reviewing a film called Night of the Demon. Now, it isn't to be confused with Night of the Demons, which was made in 1988. This film was actually from 1980, and it was directed by James C. Wasson. This might have been his only film. According to IMDb it is. I'm not sure. He might have filmed under aliases. We never know. If you guys know, you let me know. This is actually considered a video nasty, which means it was banned in the UK, I believe, until 1993, go figure, for explicit gore, particularly one scene that's very, very famous. If you've seen the film, you know what I'm talking about. I won't give it away though, but it does involve a motorcyclist, and he had to use the restroom, so he pulled over, took a leak in the woods, and boy, did he regret it. Okay. So this film actually starts out in a very bizarre way, and I've noticed other films earlier from the 70s or so, they kind of start out the same way. It's a peaceful mountain, serene, beautiful forest, and you hear this lovely little hippie folk tune, completely different than what the film's about. No idea why they decided to start out with this lovely, serenading, peaceful hippie music, but they do, and after that the massacre, I should say, begins. This film has a great title sequence. It's obviously extremely low budget, if zero budget, I'm not sure, but the title sequence is creative. It starts out with Bigfoot murdering this guy, and then you see blood drip, 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 and then it fills a giant Bigfoot, which honestly is not that big. It's probably not even much bigger than someone's average foot, but it's supposed to be Bigfoot. And it pools with blood, and then Night of the Demon shows up. So it's kind of cool. It's creative. Not sure why they didn't decide to make it a very Bigfoot, but who knows. So this is a very gory Sasquatch film. This is not your typical Bigfoot, mysterious. This is murderous, violent, bloodthirsty monster. This is not Harry Henderson's, guys. This is pretty nasty. The story is told through a series of flashbacks, and there's some storytelling around the campfire and things like that. And so it's really disjointed and kind of surreal, but I kind of liked it that way because it kept you on your toes. You weren't really sure what the hell was going on, so you're just like, what? So, I don't know. That's kind of fun sometimes. Hey, you don't even have to be drunk or high to watch and enjoy this film. So, the main character, or how we start out the film, is with a Professor Nugent. How adequately named, right? Well, Professor Nugent and his anthropology students decide, and this is all told from flashbacks from Professor Nugent, who is now horribly maimed, and all we see are his eyes, and he's bandaged, and he's just telling the story of what happened. So obviously, apparently he's the only one that survived. That's not a spoiler, that's just how the film goes. So Professor Nugent and his anthropology students go on a hunt because they decide they're going to find this Sasquatch who's apparently been responsible for a lot of murders that have happened. I mean, how they know that, I don't know. I guess it's just folklore, but they decide we need to investigate, so they pull a Scooby-Doo and crew and go out to the woods. Not very smart, if you ask me. So while they're out there telling their stories about people who got murdered, and they might be having sex, I don't know. There's sex scenes in the film, but I forgot who it is, or if they're just telling stories about, it's probably stories about the people having sex. It's very, very mild sex. It's one of those kissy, just man on top of woman, simulating, whatever. It's not explicit, basically. There is a lot of nudity, though. Basically full nudity. So anyway, as these stories are being told, and they're reminiscing about Sasquatch and is he real and blah blah blah, who he murdered, and they discover they wander upon this cult who's performing black magic, and sex magic and all kinds of things for this demon that's actually Sasquatch, but they consider him a demon because he's evil. So that's kind of cool and funny, because I like witchcraft and demon worship and cults. That stuff's really cool to me. I've always liked that stuff. So they find out about this character, Crazy Wanda. I didn't make that up. That's her name. Crazy Wanda is this hermit that lives in the woods. And you can tell she's crazy because she doesn't take a bath. And she just lives in the woods by herself. So she must be crazy. But we find out that she was raped by this demon Bigfoot. Okay, so we find out not only is Bigfoot hateful and vengeful and murderous, he's also a rapist and pedophile, because she was only 15 when he raped her. Whoa, weird, huh? So anyway, the pros of this movie start with Bigfoot vision, which to me was really cool, because when Bigfoot is approaching his prey, which, you know, are humans, you see this red box, and then there's this circle where everything's clear, but the red is all bloody, and he must have like rage or something, like bloodthirst. That's what they're trying to represent. I don't know. But it's funny because, I don't know, every time it comes out, you're like, oh, here comes Bigfoot. And it's a gory film. I mean, there is a ton of gore. I mean, it was a video nasty for a reason. Now, as a con, maybe, or maybe not, depends on what you like, it's not realistic gore. It's obviously fake. It could be considered cheesy, but sometimes that's better, because you want your gore to be a little comical, because if it's too realistic, it's just, ugh, right? So like I said, there's nudity, mild sex, devil worship, and cults, which make me happy. One of the funny parts in the film, they're out there camping and telling these scary stories about Bigfoot mutilating people, and then one of the girls is like, who's gonna dance with me? Because nothing makes you feel like dancing like possibly getting mauled to death by Bigfoot. Yes. Also, there are a couple Girl Scouts in the films, and if you just hate Girl Scouts, you'll be happy and you're in luck here, because they get killed and murdered by Bigfoot. Haha. So, and then there's the infamous motorcycle scene where some dismemberment happens. I won't tell you where. Now, the best part about this movie, and it's so funny and weird, I don't really understand it. The ending is in slow motion. What? It's a slow motion murder scene. Why? Because that's badass. That's why. They go on for like, it seems like 30 minutes, but it's probably more like 10 or less. And Bigfoot comes in, he comes through the door, and he's like, and he's ripping people to shreds and smashing heads through windows, and guts and blood are flying all over the place in slow motion. So it's very strange, but awesome, if you like that kind of weird shit like me. So let's talk about the cons of this film. First of all, it's extremely difficult to find, okay? For a long time, it was not even on DVD. I received it as a bootleg from Germany, but I don't recommend that because that's illegal. I've heard you can watch a lot of it on YouTube. Again, don't know. They probably cut out all the good stuff. The copy I had was a really bad transfer, obviously. It was probably from a VHS tape. Now, yes, I'm holding cards this time because two of you complained, like, what are you looking at? I was looking at my monitor. I just have a really big fucking monitor, excuse me. So another bad thing about this, for me it was a bad transfer. Apparently it is on DVD now, but it's really expensive, like fucking expensive, like $36 to $64. Okay, that's a lot. But hopefully it's a better transfer, and hopefully it comes with some cool extras. Probably not, because everyone associated with this movie probably wants nothing to do with it, or they're dead. Bigfoot killed them. There are some weird scenes, like it's dubbed in some parts for some reason, particularly when people are getting murdered. They're getting ripped apart and chopped up with hatchets. Oh, the best, like, Bigfoot picks this one dude up and he turns him around and he spins him over his head. Okay, all that is awesome. It's happening, and for some reason when people are screaming and dying, they're dubbed, and certain scenes, like, they're supposed to be screaming in terror because they're getting murdered and killed, but it sounds like they're screaming in pleasure, like, ooh, ah, ooh, kill me, Bigfoot. Don't ask me why. It's really fucking weird. And the final comment of this movie, it's fucking horrible. This is not a movie you watch. I mean, if you're a filmmaker, watch this movie and learn everything not to do, basically. I don't know if the people that made this even gave a shit. They probably just did it for the money. I loved it. That being said, I give it 4 out of 5 stars because it's just, it's kind of comedy gold. It's so bizarre and it's so weird that I just, like, the first time I saw it, I just couldn't believe it. I was like, what the fuck is this? So, like I said, I give it 4 stars. I say watch it if you like weird stuff, because, I mean, if you just think that strange movies are funny or cool, or you want to invite your friends over and get stoned or drunk or whatever and watch it, I recommend it. You definitely need to watch it with people because they will not believe it actually exists. Or if you're just like a huge Bigfoot enthusiast and you want to see the other side, the darker side of Sasquatch, then I totally recommend this movie. Alright guys, I'll see you next week, and thanks for tuning in. Remember, it's Night of the Demon, and check out below for all the links, and hopefully you'll stop by my website and say hi. Love you guys. Bye.
Yay!